A battle in addressing systematic injustice and inequalities have a far-reaching effects when it comes to financial well-being. The COVID-19 pandemic revealed that women have been disproportionately affected when it comes to financial inclusion and equality. The ongoing financial crisis that women face is at its most urgent and most addressed by further exploring systematic inequalities, gender stereotypes, and role. By taking the proactive stance for financial literacy, we can seek to address the gender financial inclusion gap. By this, we're encouraging more and more women to maintain their financial and help maintain that wealth. You're watching Canal, the International. We'll be back after the jingle. A lack of financial literacy is actually one of the biggest reasons why people around the world struggle to save money and invest appropriately. In today's edition of the program, Women and Leadership, we focus on financial literacy for women in business. You're watching Canal the International. If you want to watch the program online, you can type or go to our Facebook page and YouTube. You just need to type Canal the International and watch all our past editions, and let the conversation begin after the jingle. Just like in every edition, we invite the finest brain. We talk about women who are here to provide their success stories and analysis on burning issues around women. And today we're talking about financial literacy of women in business, or business women. And I'll start with the woman that is very close to me. She's called Yefon Mensah, right? Pronouncing it well. She is a chemical engineer by training, rather. She's also a co-founder and chief operations officer at a vocal and fashion business that sells unique fabric, African fabric retail, wholesale. Maybe it's good you tell us more about yourself, right?
Okay. Thank you very much, Maureen, for having me on the show. My name is Yefon Mensah, and like you said, I'm a chemical engineer by training.
Okay.
And also an entrepreneur. So I kind of dabble between two worlds, between the corporate world and the business world. So vocal is I'll call it an SME, because we are just about a little over 5 years old. We sell unique African fabric, which we source from different parts, mostly from West Africa, and we sell wholesale, retail, customized, you name it, bulk, for all sorts of events, whether corporate, personal, groups, associations.
I also have Adeline Sede. She is not a new person on a platform like this. Adeline is also the founder and publisher of Faberfreak Media Group, and currently runs a PR firm in Cameroon and Europe. She a change leader and inspirational speaker. If you hear her talk, Adeline, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Maureen. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
Very well, thank you.
Now, what has been your latest actions or latest activities to empower women?
Oh, today actually, Maureen, I'm happy you asked that question, because today we actually launched the Corporate Women in Leadership Network. The last 8 years, we've been running Corporate Women in Leadership Summit. This is an initiative where we call women in the corporate environment to talk about their professional challenges, and also mentor the younger woman looking at climbing the corporate ladder. So we took it one step, because a few years ago we launched the mentor-mentee program, but today we launched a network. This network is a network that will not just give you a one-off access into some of the programs that we have, but it will give you a wider platform where you can access coaching, mentorship, you can access the seminars, you can have programs.
And how do you follow up the women?
Oh yes.
How do you do the follow-up?
What we do is I have a team. Okay. I have a team of about 4 young women working on the program, and this is divided into different sectors. You know, so we have a program manager, we have a program coordinator, and with these there is a back and forth between these women. So I'm just there to help supervise and make sure they're doing the right thing. But really I have a team of army working with me on the program.
All right, just to tell our audience know that you're one of the top 10 women, Cameroonian women, and you recently earned an award. Can you tell me?
Oh yes. Yeah, I mean, I just want to once more thank the American Chamber of Commerce for honoring me with an award. I remember a few years ago when I was trying to join the chamber and I was told this is not a place for you. And a few years later, the chamber is actually calling me to say, Adeline, we've been following up with you and seeing the things and the changes that you're doing, you know, in the corporate sector and also in the business sector in Cameroon. So we're going to recognize and give you an award as a courageous woman.
They didn't believe in you as a woman at the beginning?
At the beginning, no. They didn't believe in me as a business, as a small business woman. But the resilience and my passion
you kept on pushing.
to do, I just kept on going, you know, insisting.
And that's what we want in women.
Consistent, yeah.
You don't stay at the same spot.
No, you
keep
shouldn't.
on pushing, even if someone tells you that you can't reach that top. You keep believing in yourself first.
In yourself.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, your first
we equally have
motivator,
Jasmine Yonja Kakanon, Chief Staff of one of the leading insurance companies in Cameroon. You're welcome, Yonja.
Hello. Glad to be here. I will just speak in French.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So I'm Chief of Staff at Prudential Beneficial Insurance.
Okay.
I've been working.
For how many years?
I said I would speak in French. I'm still in English.
Okay.
I've been working in insurance companies for 17 years.
Okay.
Yes, 17 years, and it's a job that I really like. I really love it. I started by being sales agent, and I improved myself until being a chief of staff today.
Wow. You started by being a sales agent. Now,
Yes.
what are those
On the
things that,
field.
what did you do to climb the ladder?
Okay,
Slowly,
when I started, as I said, 17 years ago, like sales agent, my job was to go in the field and prospect people, women, men, everybody, to subscribe insurance, life insurance before. Then in the network of sales agent, you have steps. You start like sales agent, and if you improve, you can be a team leader. After being a team leader, you can become maybe a unit manager. So I reached a level of unit manager. Then I was recruited like chief of department.
And you had a lot of challenges, right?
Many challenges.
Many challenges, but
yes.
did not give up at one point in time.
No. Every
Kept
time.
on believing in
yes,
yourself.
believing in myself.
And,
And
I mean, what were your goals? You had your goals, you set objectives.
yes.
At the time we're struggling to climb the ladder, right?
Yes.
And how many percentage of women do you have in the insurance sector today?
I
the
brought
percentage?
about 700 customers. 75% were women.
Okay.
Women of all classes. Women selling in the market, women in the offices, women entrepreneur, women, because I had as the insurance company has product for each type of women.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much and welcome to the program. It's the first time we're having you on sets on Canal International. We equally have someone who called a star. She's training at the moment. She's called Dr. Belinda. Dr. Belinda of the Belinda Foundation. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Nice having me on set.
All right.
Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be amongst great-minded women.
Now you're in Cameroon to launch one of the greatest movies we have today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Bamboozler, yes. Well, Bamboozler it's existent today because of humanitarian services. We've been doing humanitarian work since 2017, and COVID came in 2020 and changed the dynamics of funding, changed the dynamics of the economies. Economies were down. So we had to go back and sit on our drawing table and re-strategize, and we decided to, as a fundraising initiative, to start doing movies for a cause. So what happens is you're going to be watching a movie, but the proceeds of the movie would help us continue to do our different humanitarian projects. So it's movie, it's entertainment, but it has value attached to it.
Now, why that name?
Why the name?
The name?
Bamboozler.
Yeah.
Bamboozler is the storyline. The dictionary meaning of Bamboozler means trickster.
All right.
So it's a love story where the lead actress thinks she's found the, it's a romantic thriller. There's vengeance, there's love, there's drama, there's revenge. So she thinks she's found the love of her life, not knowing that she's dealing with a serial killer and a serial womanizer. So, but if you really want to know more about Bamboozler, we will be in La Valencia on Saturday, 16th of April. So be our guest and empower life. Yeah, come into the show and seeing what I have worked tremendously hard to put together as the executive producer.
All right, you can hear from her voice, it's a little bit bad, but I know you've picked from what she just said. She has been struggling hard. That's a woman, the woman she is, trying to push her projects through and make sure that she impacts her community. And I want us to watch a story on a financial literacy on women. That's what we are talking about. And we'll be back after the jingle.
Small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon are sharpening skills on the advantages offered by the African Continental Free Trade Area. With Cameroon's economy hanging on the shoulders of small and medium-sized enterprises by 70%, they find it difficult to emerge and become competitive. And so from April 12 to 13, 2021, they are meeting in Douala to acquire the necessary skills to optimize their financial opportunities to become competitive.
La Banque Africaine Import-Export.
The African Import-Export Bank is not known to Central African businessmen and particularly to Cameroonians. It was important for us to make them understand that since January 2021, this important financial institution opened a branch in Yaoundé and to help small and medium-sized enterprises that are in difficulty to secure loans from commercial banks.
De leur montrer toutes les opportunités qu'elles peuvent avoir auprès de cette banque.
With a huge market from Cape Town to Cairo, Africa has a wide opening of 1.3 billion buyers. Organized by the Cameroon National Shippers Council, the training of SMEs is supported by the Africa Exim Bank, which provides facilities to small and medium-sized enterprises as it intends to break the chains of access to financing.
Having signed this type of agreement with a country like Cameroon and with the CNCC in particular, it shows that we are on the process and we are on this journey together, and we want to build the Africa we want. Having everybody's information, whether you are a financial institution, whether you are a corporate entity, whether you are an SME, have your information on the Mansa digital platform gives you that opportunity to benefit from ZLECAF, from intra-African trade, from other initiatives which you are going to listen to this afternoon.
The Shippers Council will not only open their eyes on financial opportunities, but will also accompany them as well as helping women who are major actors in continental trade.
And let the conversation begin. Let's tackle or talk about what brought us here today, financial literacy for women in business. Now, how do you define financial literacy? What appropriate definition do you give financial literacy? Therefore,
Get the right meaning, but I guess having some knowledge of basic financial principles. Because like everything else, you know, we grow up, we learn about, I don't know, civics, we learn about chemistry, history, but we don't really learn about finance. I don't know, unless maybe some people did. Did you guys? Unless, I don't know, maybe you, just basic money management, basic personal finance. I think all of that encompass, before even getting into business and whatever, just basic knowledge of finance, how to manage your own personal finances, so how, if you're a small business, how to keep your books, if you're in a corporate setting, maybe bigger setting, there'll be profits and loss statements, income statements, all of that. I think that's what we would fall under financial literacy.
Adeline, do you share the same definition?
I'll share the same definition, but I want to add a little bit that financial literacy will also include all the additions and the subtractions of the money. So we normally say in English, put your mouth where your money is. So where's the money coming from? Where's the money going to?
Okay.
So you need to know the nitty-gritty of how that works. Financial literacy.
Yonja?
En français, on pourrait dire éducation financière.
Okay.
C'est vraiment le b.a.-ba de la vie, comme Elle a dit,
Yeah.
à l'école, on a appris les mathématiques, on a appris le calcul, comment additionner, comment soustraire. Mais ça n'est jamais allé plus loin que ça. On ne nous a jamais dit comment est-ce qu'on peut commencer à gagner de l'argent. Et même dans beaucoup d'écoles aujourd'hui, on forme encore des gens qui ne rêvent que d'être des salariés, qui ne pensent pas à pouvoir entreprendre. Donc, d'où l'interpellation, le clin d'œil aux écoles de management et de commerce que nous avons sur le marché aujourd'hui, pour qu'ils essaient un peu de revoir la façon dont ils forment les étudiants, qui devraient, au sortir de là, penser plutôt à la création d'entreprises au lieu forcément d'être salarié.
All right. Quelle est la problématique aujourd'hui? Quand on parle de financial literacy, let's talk the context of Cameroon and Africa today. Now, when you look at it, where do you place women?
Les femmes sont encore en retrait, malgré le fait qu'on peut constater depuis quelques années, qu'elles sont beaucoup en avant, elles sont mises en avant. Il y a les politiques qui encouragent quand même l'émancipation ou l'autonomisation de la femme, mais ça reste quelque chose de limité. Et beaucoup d'actions restent à mettre en œuvre au niveau du politique, au niveau des mentalités même, pour que les femmes puissent avoir cet épanouissement, cette indépendance financière qui, en tant que femme, en tant que socle de la famille, devrait profiter à l'ensemble de la famille et de la population tout entière.
All right. Dr. Belinda, are women financially dependent today?
The truth of the matter is you would have to, at some point in your life, decide what you want for your life. You would have, at some point in your life, know that the world is run with money, projects are run with money. So you need to start being hungry. Financial literacy to me is just you're waking out of your slumber and you're deciding now to go and educate yourself to get all the tools, all the resources that you need to be able to earn money that you need to run projects that you're dreaming about.
All right, let's talk about your own self.
Okay, well,
Now, what did you do to get to where you are
oh
today?
my goodness, Lord have mercy. We would have to be here for a long time.
You just give us a summary.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to have
because
to.
people need to hear your story, so that at least
I'm
you
going to
tell your
have
story
to
and
try
then
to
adjust.
Yes, I'm going to have to try
Just
to
briefly.
summarize. Yes, so my journey started back in 1999 when I moved to the States. I was 19 years old. I've lived there for 21 years. And in my career path through, I got in there, did IT, and then from IT, got into the medical. I've owned a home health agency. I've owned a group home. A group home is a home where we serve people with mental disabilities and retardations. I do import and export currently in Cameroon. I also had an online clothing store, and I just ventured into filmmaking, which is a huge project. So again, I stay hungry. I do not, and I have online business portfolios. I am a Bitcoin trader. I do cryptocurrencies as well. I portfolio because I know that without money, the things that I do would never absolutely be possible. So everybody has dreams. Everybody has aspirations. Everybody has they have so much they want to realize, but the truth of it is you would have to sit down on your drawing board and figure out how to get the resource. And most often the resources are there, but you have to find a strategy, and you have to be seriously focused and seriously determined on what you want to achieve to get the resources.
Now, who control your finances?
I had to learn. I had to go back and study finance, like everybody else said. When you want to be a master at anything, you have to go back on the drawing board, get books and read and find out how to be able to run those. So I took a lot of online courses, but books, Tony Robbins and all of them, they're my mentors. So I had to go back and get books, study, find out what are all the different strategies that I need to apply to control my money well, and then to continue to have sources. Like the last book I read, and if anybody has a chance, go grab Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins.
Okay, because
And
the
I'm giving
women,
it-
when they start off a business, they want to hand it to someone to control it for them. You don't want to do yourself because you're scared. No, I mean, you might end up losing everything. So they don't want to learn. I want women to sit up and learn how to manage their own businesses, try to control their own finance. Now, a earphone, what's the difference between entrepreneurship and financial literacy? Is there a difference?
Yes, absolutely. There's a difference. You can be a financially literate person, but you're not an entrepreneur. You're not running a business. You're managing your personal finances well. You are managing your personal finance. Your focus may be just on personal finance, what you earn from, and then educating your family, making sure your family has a good lifestyle, and achieving whatever dreams you have. That's finance.
So there's a clear difference.
There's a clear difference. Being an entrepreneur, you're running a business, and you need to be financially literate to be a better entrepreneur.
All right.
So I'll take my case for example. I had absolutely no clue about what I needed to do for finances. So I literally had to go to my friend who is an accountant and say, I know some basics from work, right? In my career, I was in operations for quite a bit, and in operations, finance is a big thing, but I wasn't running the details. I will contribute to a line or a couple of lines in the P&L, and then that's it. But now I have to set up my books. I have to know what inventory, I have to know what the income statement is. I literally had to go to my friend who's an accountant. I'm like, I'm completely learn. I had to learn. I didn't even have a choice. When you put money, a lot of money to start a business, you have to learn the financial basics. Or else somebody will come and tell you that this water costs 5,000 when the water costs 500. Okay. Really? You know, you have to be an entrepreneur. You have to know financial literacy is not even negotiable. You have to be financially. If you're not, you learn. All right. Like she said, you go and look for the resources. Me, I went to go and find an accountant to teach me tax. I had to learn a little bit about what the tax, because everybody was coming to me like, oh, you have to pay this. And I'm like, no. So I asked my same friend, I need a tax consultant. So I went one day, for a couple of days, he had to explain to me, as a business, this is what you have to, the government obliges you to pay this. Because if you don't know, somebody will just show up. They will just give you one tax. A council will show up. Like really, the first year for me was literally a school. It was really a school. But you have to be financially literate. You must
sacrifice time to go to the school because it's for the benefit of you.
Is for your own benefit, right? Whether it is formal or informal, somehow you have to get. And the thing is, when you're an entrepreneur, you have to look for the right people to manage your finances for, whether directly or indirectly. You have to have a tax person. Even if you don't have an accountant, have somebody that is consulting, whether you are paid or not paid, whatever. Somebody that is a resource person, and so for your main financial things. And in the environment we are, for me, I hadn't lived in Cameroon. I just moved back, and I started a business. So I had to understand what the financial obligations and the financial context of Cameroon is, of what Cameroon, what running a business entails, what registering a business, how to pay taxes, how to, as an entrepreneur, you can't even run away from it. And it can be as complicated as running a, big company to, even the person that is selling puff and beans, or the lady in the market that is selling, they have their basic finances that they have to sort out, or else they will not grow.
All right, at the line, now, what seems to be blocking women when it comes to financial literacy? I think we all know that women are multitaskers and we want to do it all. And sometimes I would say the blockage will come from ourselves. And that is why I will always insist that, as Dr. Belinda said, if there is something that you feel you need to learn in order to help you succeed, go learn it, succeed. Personally, I've not been I'm not a very financial savvy person. I've always been that person or that business person who's going to hire an accountant, who's going to hire a tax officer to manage my finances, because truth be told, this is something that I didn't have the skill for, didn't have the skill set to do. And my friend will always say, you need an accountant, you need an accountant. Right now, I need to calculate how much CNPS, which is like national insurance, I need to pay for my staff, how many of them I need to put on that, what are the taxes that I need to pay for my business and myself. So, because I didn't have the knowledge in the past, it used to block me from making that decision. Because financial literacy, as Jasmine said, it's all about being able to make informed decisions that will help you to manage your finances. Because I didn't see the need in the past to make this decision. I was always running away from it because I was afraid. I'll put it that way. So fright is something that blocks women from making decisions that they feel might affect them. But the minute you take that spirit of fear away from you, and you take the fact that most of these young people that you employ, their lives, it's basically in your hands, then you start making decisions that you know will benefit them, not just yourself. This you see from the level of how much you pay them, why you pay them, what kind of program you've put them to help them, have the capacity to manage their life and manage their finances as well. So yeah, so we have these things blocking us.
So let's be clear on this. Are you trying to tell women out there that you don't need to employ an accountant? Or you need to employ someone who is going to control your finances?
You absolutely.
Are you going to do it alone, and can they do it alone?
It depends on the business.
So that's what I want us to be clear on that.
It depends on the business that you run, Maureen. I'll tell you. My business, for example, I cannot work without an accountant because I don't do petty trade. I don't do cash in hand. I work with big multinationals, as you know, and they have their processes in place. I cannot be a jack of all trade. I don't need to understand the nitty-gritty or all the details of what they need. For example, today I was called by one of my clients like, oh, you didn't submit the PO when you were giving the invoices, or you didn't give that. So I know that is their process, but I cannot learn the processes of all my 200 clients that I might have. So you have, if you are a business and you want to grow, you have to employ an accountant to help you.
Okay, Jasmine. Now let's take the case of a petty trader. I mean, someone has a call box out there, or buy and sell them. How will she control her finances? We're talking about financial literacy here.
Je pense que pour les petits entrepreneurs, pour ceux qui sont généralement du secteur informel, ils n'ont pas besoin, on ne fait pas la différence entre l'entrepreneuriat et la gestion financière, parce qu'ils sont appelés à faire tout ça eux-mêmes. Est-ce qu'ils vont dans les écoles pour apprendre? Parfois pas. Ils apprennent sur le tas. Et je peux vous dire qu'en matière de business, ces personnes sont aussi féroces que les grands chefs d'entreprise que nous rencontrons tous les jours. Donc ils apprennent sur le tas, ils font des erreurs qu'ils corrigent, et à la fin ils deviennent de très bons entrepreneurs, si on peut dire ça comme ça. Maintenant, nous, en tant qu'assureurs, ce qu'on peut faire, ce que nous faisons généralement pour contribuer à l'éducation financière des femmes à travers des souscriptions des contrats, c'est que nous sommes d'abord des organismes d'épargne. Avant de faire de la prévention, nous faisons de l'épargne. Donc, nous pouvons aider les femmes à épargner afin de pouvoir réaliser leurs projets à terme. Et puis, nous protégeons également leur activité. Adeline a dit tantôt qu'elle travaille à beaucoup de grandes entreprises. Elle a certainement besoin d'une assurance santé pour son personnel, parce qu'ils sont malades, ils ne peuvent pas être en activité. Elle a besoin d'une assurance responsabilité civile chez l'entreprise, parce que dans le cadre de son activité, si elle arrive à faire du mal à quelqu'un, c'est l'assureur qui va prendre ça en charge. Donc notre rôle en tant qu'assureur, vraiment dans le cadre de l'inclusion financière, c'est d'éduquer, de former et de protéger les femmes tous les jours dans le quotidien.
Et quand tu vois la femme camerounaise, quand tu vois une femme qui se débrouille, elles sont tous là dans l'informel. We're talking about small and medium-sized enterprises here, because they are the backbone of Cameroon's economy, and lots of women are out there struggling to make ends meet. Now, in terms of controlling their finance, because they'll be growing, you'll not stay on the same spot. They're struggling to look for a means for women to move from one stage to another. And you see your profits, and you see yourself growing from one level to another.
I think that I want to speak English and French.
You can present it.
Je pense, j'ai vu beaucoup de femmes commencer, comme vous avez dit, commerceuses, commencer vendeuses de tomates au marché, bayan salam, qui sont aujourd'hui des chefs d'entreprise. À un moment donné, quand l'entreprise prend de l'envergure et qu'on a de l'ambition d'aller plus loin, on se donne les moyens de réussir.
Il faut avoir une ambition.
Ah oui, il faut avoir de l'ambition. Quand on a de l'ambition, on donne les moyens de réussir. Comme elle a dit tantôt, elle est venue au Cameroun, elle fait du business. Elle aimerait savoir comment se passe l'environnement du Cameroun, comment ça se passe. Il faut le faire. Donc, toutes les personnes que vous voyez dans la vie qui ont réussi, ont eu envie de réussir et sont donné les moyens de réussir.
All right, Dr. Belinda, what are the necessary steps to take? we're talking about financial literacy. What are the necessary steps to take? We're talking of women, especially small and medium-sized enterprises. We're struggling to see how they could impact or struggle to have to build up and have a sustainable business. That's what we're talking about here.
All right. I think I'll just list some steps that I think anybody in business, be it a big business, be it a small business, be it a corporate business laws are the same everywhere. So again, it's been a hectic week, guys, so permit me and excuse my voice.
It's okay.
I need ginger so bad. So for me, first and foremost, like everybody else has said, you have to have, as a business, a financial plan. You have to have a business financial plan, because that is what is going to guide you. Okay. It doesn't always have to be so big, but the first step in every business is to have your business plan. That's what you would use as a guide. It's your blueprint. It would that's a document that you will create, and that document would have every step of where you're trying to head to. So number one, get a business plan. Number two, follow your business plan, but wherever it needs adjusted. The business plan is not a robot. At some point, you can readjust it innovatively per actual few things that happen, and then adjust it as you go. But stick to your plan, readjust it. Again, you have to have, if you cannot afford a consultant or an in-house accountant, to be honest, most businesses that we start, we don't have all the resources to hire this, to hire that, to hire that. So you can just you'd have to do a lot of self-learning. I'll take a case in point. When I had to get into movie production, I had to go back to the drawing board and learn about movie making for 7 to 8 months before I could get Bamboozler put on the table today. I just did not just wake up and do Bamboozler, never. So I had to go back, study, and know exactly all what is going to be needed to get Bamboozler made. That took me 7 to 8 months.
Okay. Now, what about status? Someone just starting now, hearing you talking right now, I want to start somewhere.
Okay.
Yes, one?
So I will share a bit of my experience about working with people that are studying, because I also run a consulting company called the Business Corner. Okay. So when people come to me, oh, I want to start a small catering business, or oh, I know how to knit. So I send you to answer 5 questions. 1, what is it that you want to do? Because sometimes some people have this fancy idea, but if you ask them what exactly you want to do, go and define it. Who are your target? That's what. Who are your target clients? Who do you want to sell to? This is very basic question, but sometimes you'll be amazed that it's good to have an idea, but when you start getting into the little details, you're like, oh, so and then who are my clients? Who am I going to deal with? If I'm buying, I'm going to buy from this person. You get what I mean? Figure out your who. Why am I doing it? Is it just, okay, I need money? Or is there a passion? There has to be a why. So there is what, who, why, when. Give yourself a bit of a timeline. You don't just wake up with an idea and 1 year later you are still on idea. I'm going to start this. I will start with 50,000, and this is what I'm going to do with your 50,000, and then how. So usually I take the women through a how. I'll take an example. I have a cousin who knows how to cook very well. She kept coming to me to ask for money. At some point I said, I'm not giving you any more money. You can cook. We're going to turn this into a proper business. We sat down and we made a little bit of what she said, business plan. It doesn't have to be a fancy document. It can be as basic as possible. I told her, go and figure out what is it that you need. The pot, the gas bottle, blah, 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 blah. But that's your utensils. The basics. The basics. What are you going to cook? How are you going to buy things? So we made a mini business plan just like in 30 minutes. She told me that. I typed it up nicely, sent it to her. I need you to fill up the details and come back to me with a budget. I need 100,000, 200,000, whatever to start. And what I do, if you come and tell me I need 200,000, I'll remove 100,000 and give you. I don't want to see you near my house again asking for money. You have to do that, right? Because there are for women to move forward, I learned something from my mom very early. A woman, no matter how small, needs to have her own. If she has even 1,000 or 2,000 every day, she will not be coming back to you to ask you, or she will not be depending on a husband or a man to feed her. At least she has her 2,000 where she can go back every day to eat with her kids. You get what? For me,
she needs to learn to be independent.
She that
and her own money.
Exactly. So, and that it can be as simple as starting to sell puff puff, right. But you need to have that basic plan. A business plan doesn't have to be a fancy document. The person needs to know exactly what they want to do, right. and start from somewhere. If you're going to go and meet your auntie or your uncle, that this is my. When you tell the person that this is what I want to do, and you even show some details, the person will feel encouraged to remove money and give you. All right. And yeah.
I love to add before I lose my train of thoughts. And also for the business plan, there's a module that we use called SMART, S-M-A-R-T. So you want to be specific about what exactly, like this is like your goals, like, you know, okay, I'm doing Bamboozler. I'll take Bamboozler as a program that I have right now. Okay. So I'm doing Bamboozler, and I know exactly how Bamboozler is going to be made. So you try to research, you go back and do your research and plot exactly. I mean, that's part of clarity. So you're staying exactly on what you want to achieve, and you're never diverting from me. No matter what anybody brings to me, like
focus through.
For the past 8 months, I told everybody, I don't care how good is it, I don't care how good whatever it is, I am not going to have time for it. So I am not, anything you sign up for that you will not have time to work it out will never go anywhere. Yep. So that's one, you want to be specific and smart about what it is that you want to get. And is you want your goals to be measured, because if you really don't have a goal in anything that you're doing, forget about it, it's never going to work. So you want your goal to be measurable. Like, is it going to be a realistic thing that I'm going to do? Like, will I be able to actually achieve? Because some goals are just out of this world, you know, and those I call those illusional goals. Right? Well, I call those kind of goals illusional goals, because you're having some dreams. It's good to dream, but you want to dreams that can be realistically attained. Yes. So 2 is get things that are a little bit measurable. Get a goal that you know that you go above and beyond to try and achieve. Number, like for example, I have goals. I'm going to premiere in 10 states in America. I'm going to premiere in 10 African countries. So I know that it's going to be challenging, but it's doable. I'm not going to wake up and say I'm going to premiere in all the nations of the world. That to me will be unrealistic. So attainable is the next letter word in that SMART. So again, set goals that you think, no matter how bad it is, I will try and make it. So make it attainable. Otherwise, honestly, you start something, you never finish it, because you had nothing put in place. You had no roadmap, you had no guide, you had no script put in place to help guide you towards that success dream. Number 4 letter word is again realistic. Be realistic with your goal. You have to be able to know that there are some goals, if you're not realistic, you get frustrated, you abandon the project, and then you stay in a depressed or a non-financial stable state. And be time sensitive. You know what I mean? Be time sensitive, because I mean, give yourself a timing. Give yourself a timing. Otherwise,
anything you do,
give yourself a timing. Have a deadline, have a timeline. Period. That is the only way that you get challenged. When it's like when you're in school, when they ask you for projects, there's a deadline. If they didn't have that, then nobody's going to submit any reports. So even at work, they will ask you, you got to bring this. So that deadline challenges you to be on your toes and deliver. Thank you.
Jasmine, tu voulais ajouter quelque chose?
Je voulais simplement dire que les femmes sont, quand on regarde à l'école primaire ou au collège, les femmes sont de plus en plus brillantes. Avant, c'était les hommes qui allaient à l'école. Maintenant que les femmes vont à l'école, autant que les hommes, on se rend compte que les femmes sont beaucoup plus brillantes. Voilà. Mais pas parfois assez très sûres d'elles. Pas parfois assez très sûres d'elles. Donc, elles ont besoin, parfois qu'on les bouscule. Moi, je pense que la femme camerounaise aujourd'hui est à même, vraiment très à même de faire tout ce que les hommes font, sinon plus. Mais elles ont besoin d'être motivées, d'être accompagnées.
Oui.
Donc si je rencontrais, comme je rencontre tous les jours déjà, des jeunes dames et qui ont envie de se lancer dans les activités, qui veulent se lancer dans une affaire, dans un boulot, et qui ont encore, comment on va dire ça, qui ont encore quelques appréhensions, c'est de leur dire c'est possible. Parce que nous, on est parti de rien. Et je ne dis pas qu'on est arrivé, mais on est quand même quelque part. C'est parfois de partager, et ça sort que c'est les histoires, les réussites, qu'on appelle testimony. C'est de dire par exemple, vous voyez telle personne, elle a commencé comme ça, regardez où elle est aujourd'hui, c'est possible. Voyez. Et puis pour celles qui finalement sortent de leur cocon, c'est de les accompagner. Vraiment de les accompagner tous les jours, de les suivre et puis de les amener à prendre leur envol. Parce qu'il ne s'agit pas qu'elles restent sur le joug, voilà, du parrain ou du coach tout le temps. Mais comme je dis tantôt, la femme, c'est le socle de la famille, c'est le socle de la nation. La femme camerounaise, tant qu'elle aura réussi, le Cameroun va réussir. Il s'agit de ça.
Yes. The program is Women and Leadership, and we're talking about financial literacy for women in a business. We'll be right back after the jingle.
The percentage of trade between African countries reportedly stands at only 16 to 18%. The African Continental Free Trade Area that went into force on January 1, 2021 is expected to bring continent-wide free trade to 1.3 billion people and boost trade within the continent. Economists say for the bloc to reach its full potential, barriers such as poor infrastructure and unambiguous red tape must be overcome.
Ce vaste projet.
For this vast integration project that aims to stimulate intra-African trade, there is need for a certain number of factors to be considered for its success. The first challenge is exchange facilitation. The procedures are still cumbersome, be it at the level of trade, importation and exportation. The cost of high and extended deadlines for customs clearance is still an issue. There are equally road infrastructure and logistic and production problems. The rules of origin, tariffs offers and service schedules still remain major preoccupations.
Et aussi, surtout dans le domaine de la production, à simplifier les règles d'origine.
The trade gap within the African continent as compared to others is wide, but experts say Cameroon has however made progress in linking its road infrastructure.
Today, all big corridors are open. You know that the corridor Bamenda, Manfé, Ekok, Enugu, Lagos is functioning already, and the other one going from Yaoundé, Sangbelima, Wezo, Brazzaville, Kisha is also working. Only two big corridors are showing small problems, especially the one linking Douala to Jamena. The other one, Douala Bangui, is also relatively performant. So I think many conditions have been put in place so that we can hope that in the coming years we will be more happier.
Countries that have ratified the agreement have agreed to liberalize 90% of their tariff lines, a decision which the Economic Commission for Africa believes could boost inter-African trade by 52.3%.
Besides financial literacy, there is this big problem about women: access to credit. Access to credit remains one of the major problems women, especially entrepreneurs, even those just starting or starters, are facing at line. That's one of the major problems. You as an entrepreneur, is it so easy for you to have if you want to get money from any bank, it's just so easy for you?
I'm just going to be honest with you, Maureen. I have never accessed finance the way I should. It's not easy. It just doesn't exist. Even the bank that you pass more than 300-400 million a year forget
No,
about
give you.
it. They don't give you the money. And sometimes I look at my, my statement and I'm like, hey, all this money like this, how come I can't have access to finance? And the banks will tell you it's not our policy, it's to give money to small businesses. But I'll tell you, some credit unions are really amazing. But with the big banks, it's hard.
Can we link the two together, your phone?
What I would say is that banks should just tell us that they will only give money to big companies. Really, my experience has
small
been
and medium-sized enterprises.
Prices, no, they should just be direct that they don't.
They're suffering, right?
Yeah.
Headache for them. It's
so
not easy
for me, so women in Cameroon, everybody belongs to a group. Jangi. Those Jangis are very powerful. A lot of money turns in them, and now because we are becoming more advanced, I'm sure everybody's account is in a credit union, right? So there are a group of women of maybe 20 that turn 100 million every year in savings, in loans, and all of that. So that's a very powerful, and that's somewhere where that financial literacy or education or awareness should be. I know that a lot of Jangis make an effort, but I'm sure that we could take it a step further, right? Second, money turns in credit union. I already said, let banks just tell us that they don't give.
Is it because you're a woman that they're not giving you credit?
No.
Je suis pas tout à fait d'accord.
Oui, Jasmine.
Je suis pas tout à fait d'accord parce que tant qu'on est dans l'informel, on ne vous connaît pas. C'est pour ça que nous encourageons l'inclusion financière. Nous demandons aux personnes d'ouvrir des comptes dans les banques, dans les microfinances. Quand vous ouvrez un compte dans une banque ou une microfinance et que vous avez généré l'activité et que les encaissements sont faits dans ces banques, ces microfinances, il n'y a pas de raison qu'on ne vous accompagne pas. Mais tant qu'on reste dans l'informel, on ne sait pas exactement qu'est-ce que vous faites et ce n'est pas évident d'y arriver. Il y a eu des programmes avec la Banque mondiale, la filiale SFI, la SFI, avec la BAD pour le financement des femmes à travers les banques. Il y a eu ce programme qui existe. Les femmes, comme je disais tantôt, ont encore besoin qu'on les accompagne. Si j'ouvre un compte dans une microfinance, dans laquelle je reverse peut-être 50 000 tous les jours de mon activité, il est hors de question qu'au bout de 3-4 ans, que je vienne demander un crédit et qu'on ne me le donne pas. Maintenant, si je reste dans les djangis au quartier, je ne vais pas demander au banquier de me donner l'argent. Maintenant, la solution que nous, aspirons, nous avons, dans le cadre des plans financiers que vous pouvez mettre en place, si vous avez commencé à épargner chez nous, à un moment donné, vous pouvez prendre une partie de votre capital pour pouvoir générer votre business. Vous pouvez le prendre avec pour objectif de le rembourser, ce qu'on appelle avance ou prêt. Vous pouvez le prendre avec l'objectif de ne pas rembourser, qu'on va déduire de l'épargne que vous avez constituée. Donc, il y a des solutions qui sont mises en place pour accompagner les femmes. Mais sortons de l'informel de grâce. Sortons de l'informel, faisons-nous voir et de cette manière-là, on pourra être accompagné.
Like Dr. Belinda, I want to react to what she just said. Do you think, what about the reality on the ground, what she's just saying?
I am a woman and I'm doing something for a cause. And if I am a client in your bank and I have my monies in your bank and I'm doing something for the vulnerable persons of this same country that you guys exist in, and we sent an appeal letter to you guys, the least we can expect is Ali, just respond back to us. You have a corporate social responsibility person within the industry, just respond back to us. And so to me, as a client in your bank, coming to you and you totally ignoring me, I'm moving my business somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Adeline?
Can I
all right, your phone, you two are just
No, I want to
add what Jasmine just said, right?
Yes, to what she said. I said that what I was referring to was for the big banks. Microfinance credit unions are doing, for me, they are doing very well.
Maybe banks do more.
To be honest with you, my experience with bank, I don't want to call names of bank. My experience with banks has not been good. I literally took out my money from a bank and put in a microfinance. They call me and beg me to take
it. At the same time, must we continue to discredit women or tell them not to go to the banks?
No, I can't tell people. No, maybe everybody's experience is different, right? And what I see banks try to do today is to have programs for women. I'm not going to call the names of the programs, but big banks are trying hard to do programs for women. Let the programs be realistic and practical. Don't come and brandish the same way that companies come and say, oh, we have women, and you have to be real about this is what the program is about. This is what you can get. I've gotten those phone calls. But then when I start asking specific questions, nobody answers my questions. Be specific about what the program for women to improve women literacy or to give loan or whatever. Be specific about what you want or what a woman can get from your program.
Je voudrais rajouter quelque chose, s'il te plaît, à ce qu'elle a dit aussi. Les microfinances, c'est pour les microproduits. Et les banques, c'est pour un certain niveau. Vous allez voir qu'il y a des banques qui ont leurs propres microfinances.
Oui, oui.
Et on ne les a pas mis en place pour rien. C'est pour accompagner justement les personnes qui sont encore dans la micro-activité, si on peut appeler ça comme ça. Il s'agit de cela. Vous voyez un peu. Maintenant, je ne vais pas citer les noms. Comme je disais tantôt, il y a des banques qui ont les microfinances. Ils ont créé les microfinances pourquoi? Parce qu'ils n'ont pas la capacité en tant que banque de pouvoir financer des personnes à une certaine hauteur.
Yeah, but I think
mais là, ils passent par des microfinances pour pouvoir assister ces personnes-là. Vous voyez? Donc, ça veut dire que la banque, au finish, s'occupe de la personne, de la personne qui a encore son business tout petit, mais sauf qu'il ne peut pas le faire en tant que banque, peut-être parce que...
c'est trop petit.
Non, son cœur d'activité, il faut le dire, n'est pas, son cœur de cible, on va dire ça, n'est pas orienté vers cette cible-là. Il crée sa microfinance justement pour gérer.
All right. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Dr. Belinda?
Yeah, just to add, right, a bank that comes to a community and wants to be a value-based bank should. Women are the strength in the communities. Women are the strength in an economy. Every bank that comes in place should also have a program that would find a way to how are they going to empower women to make the entire community, to make the entire nation stronger. So they are compelled. That's to me, empowerment is just all that has to happen for economies to change. That's what's been happening in the Western world. So they should have some small programs where women can freely, they themselves should get the education, invite the women to come learn about financial literacy before they give them their money, do workshops, do master classes, invite those women, certify them, they get tests, and then give them small monies to get started. Because see, I would vouch for that kind of bank and put my money in there anytime, because you know what? You're not only earning for yourself, but you're earning and giving back. I'm all about giving back.
Okay.
Thank
We're
you.
running out of time.
I think most of the banks in Cameroon, they do that now. I mean,
Okay.
most of my clients are the big banks, and they have different programs for women. It is true that maybe they've not done, I've not seen the link between that training, that education and awareness to the actual giving of the money. So I think that's a part that I'll need to find out what happens after all this training. After all this training, because it's true that yes,
No, we're supposed to have a banker yet.
Yes.
We're supposed to have a bank on site, but at the last minute we could not have that. But I'm sure we're going to have next time. We're going to bring
Like Miss
what
Maureen,
happens in the bank.
I just want to throw this as a case in point. I'm talking about something that just happened within the past two months, 8 weeks. We, our organization for this movie for a cause, went to every bank as a woman. Mind you, I am a woman who is a CEO of this whole organization. So if they really had a woman program in place, seeing that that's a woman reached out to me who wants to start a multipurpose center for vulnerable persons in Bonaberry, you would see that this is a cause that is very, very, very valid and important in this current dispensation. We all know we have crisis in Cameroon that has moved people as IDPs who live vulnerably, who live beyond deplorable situations right now. And somebody is willing to start a center where they can get trained and get skills that they would apply tomorrow to be self-sustainable. And then you go to reputable organizations in Cameroon and nobody answers you. Nobody even gives you a response. I am sorry. You have a corporate social responsibility director in your companies. The least you can do is email us back, write back to us, tell us you cannot be part of it. I am sorry. The PRs of most banks, of most companies, international and locally, it is deployable. So if they do have women leadership programs, like Adeline said, we haven't seen it. So get on your game and step it up.
All right, we're giving our last words to women out there because we're running out of time. Adeline, maybe you look at your camera and tell the woman out there just 1 second what you want her to hear.
So what I want to tell you today is that financial literacy is so important for your business. As a woman who's been in business for more than 12 years, it is true that I've spent years and years running away from taking financial informed decisions. The year I decided to take an accountant on board and to pay a tax consultant on board, a lot of things happened for me. And right now I am on a journey to learn and educate myself on financial literacy. And of course, Dr. Belinda, I'm going to be reading some of the books that you've recommended because it is so important for you to be in the check.
All right.
Thank you so much for inviting me again, Maureen.
Yefon?
Thank you so much, Maureen, for the opportunity to be here. What I would say is start with the basics, start learning about managing your own finances, and that will translate into other things.
All right, Jasmine?
Oui, merci d'avoir été invité sur ce plateau. L'inclusion financière, c'est comment je dis, pour la femme, c'est ce qui va libérer la femme du joug, pas que des hommes, hein, parce que les femmes sont d'abord un joug pour elles. Donc j'encourage les femmes à se mettre, à apprendre, à sortir de cet analphabétisme financier, parce que la vie, comme on a dit, c'est devant. Maintenant, l'autonomisation, l'inclusion financière, ça peut permettre l'épanouissement de la femme. La femme, son épanouissement passe par la réussite, le succès, le bien-être des enfants.
Dr. Belinda, your last words, just a few seconds left.
Well, last words is, remember, women are change agents in the community. Women are change agents in the nation. So I believe that a literate financial woman, it's only going to make her community better. A literate financial woman, it's only going to make the nation better. A literate financial woman, it's only going to make the world at large better. So please, women, find a way to educate yourself and find a way to be self-sustainable. Find a way to be especially independently financially sustainable. If it means you starting small, the journey of over 10,000 steps started with one step. What I encourage you to do is take that one step. Get whatever tools, whatever resources is needed. Stay focused on it. Nobody distracts you. Stay focused on it. Stay focused on it. Work it out till you get your results. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming. Thank you for coming to the program. And to you, I will say thank you for watching. The program was Women in Leadership, and we're talking about female financial literacy for women in business. I'm sure you learned something out there. Stay positive. Thanks for watching.